Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Signed by His Majesty the Sultan, His Highness Sayyid Asad bin Tariq chairs the Sultan's delegation to the 28th Arab Summit in Jordan. Greetings of His Majesty the Sultan are conveyed to Emir of Qatar and President of Mauritania. His Highness the Deputy Prime Minister for the International Relations and Cooperation Affairs and personal representative of His Majesty the Sultan. The Shura Council studied the status of private higher education institutions and reviews the reply by all the Council of Ministers on the categories affected by oil products prices hike. And Royal Oman Police celebrates the inauguration of a special task police unit in the Wilaya of Nizwa. Those are the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos received a cable of thanks from the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In reply to His Majesty the Sultan's cable of condolences on the death of Her Royal Highness Princess Al Bandri bint Nasser bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Signed by His Majesty the Sultan, His Highness Sayyid Asad bin Tariq bin Taimur Al Said, Deputy Prime Minister for the International Relations and Cooperation Affairs and personal representative of His Majesty the Sultan, led the Sultan's delegation in the 29th Regular Arab Summit held in the Dead Sea Resort in the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. Here's a report.
With an unprecedented attendance by leaders of Arab countries and optimistic ambience, the 28th Regular Arab Summit started on the shores of the Dead Sea in Jordan. His Highness Sayyid Asad bin Tariq bin Taimur Al Said, Deputy Prime Minister for International Relations and Cooperation Affairs and personal representative of His Majesty the Sultan, led the Sultan's delegation to the summit. His Majesty King Abdullah II Ibn al-Hussein, upon taking over the presidency of the summit, gave a speech in which he called the Arab nation for solidarity to confront terrorism, stressing the importance of consensus on peaceful solutions for conditions in Syria, Yemen and Libya. During the opening session of the summit, the Secretary General of the Arab League, Ahmed Abul Ghait, expressed optimism towards achieving progress in Arab joint action. The Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, called for utilization of peaceful efforts and dialogue to sort out situations and tension prevailing in some Arab countries. In a statement, Sayyid Asad said that the Sultanate supports the peaceful work to settle all issues of the region. He pointed out that the meeting of the Arab leaders in the summit provides an opportunity for positive consultations and sharing of views, and hoped that it will come out with decisions that support the Arab joint action. The 28th Arab Summit discusses a number of issues related to Palestine, Syria, Libya and Yemen, as well as combating terrorism and the developments of the Arab joint socio-economic cooperation. This summit also discusses a report on the joint Arab situation in terms of trade, investments and the Arab strategy to address the border challenges. It also reviewed the executive framework plan for the emergency program for the Arab food security second stage and the Arab agreement for the exchange of plant sources and cultural knowledge.
Greetings of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos and his good wishes of health and wellness and for the Qatari nation of more progress and prosperity were conveyed by His Highness Sayyid Asad bin Tariq Al Said to his brother His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani Emir of Qatar when he received him at his residence in the Dead Sea Resort in Jordan. From his side, His Highness Sheikh Tamim also conveyed his greetings and good wishes to His Majesty the Sultan and for the Omani people of more prosperity and welfare. During the meeting, they reviewed the bilateral relations between the two brotherly countries and horizons of mutual cooperation, in addition to topics enlisted in the agenda of the 28th Arab Summit. The Sultanate and the United Arab Emirates also touched upon a number of issues targeted at the Arab Summit when His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President of the United Arab Emirates, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, received His Highness Sayyid Asad bin Tariq Al Said. The two sides further reviewed the strong fraternal relations binding the two countries and means of supporting them in several domains of the interests of both countries, in addition to discussing some situations in the regional arena and exchanging points of view on a number of matters of mutual concern. His Highness Sayyid Asad bin Tariq Al Said also conveyed his greetings of His Majesty the Sultan to His Excellency President Mohammed Weld Abdelaziz of Mauritania, along with his best wishes of permanent health and happiness and for the Mauritanian people of more progress and welfare. From his side, His Excellency the Mauritanian President informed His Highness Said Asad to convey the greetings to His Majesty the Sultan and his good wishes for him of more health and wellness. During the meeting, they also discussed means of upgrading bilateral relations between the Sultanate and Mauritania. Shura Council received the Council of Ministers' response for its request to interrogate the Minister of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources on a number of administrative and financial violations. In response to the request, the issue will be studied by the bodies concerned and will update the Shura Council at a later stage. The Shura Council also approved the study on the status of the private educational institutions in the Sultanate, recommending the acceleration of issuing the higher education law. It as well recommended activating the role of the Omani Authority for Academic Accreditation and support it with financial and human resources to enable it to perform its role. The Shura Council also got acquainted with the Council of Ministers' response on the selling price of oil products, which affirmed that the supporting categories affected by the increase in the price of oil products is one of the priorities of the government. It as well reviewed the proposal of activating the roles of official speakers in the governmental units, as the Council of Ministers pointed out in its response that it already directed the ministries and bodies concerned to activate their accounts on social media networks. The necessity of cooperation between judges and lawyers to strengthen the justice principles and facilitate procedures to be followed topped the discussions of the meeting of Sheikh Dr. Ishaq bin Ahmed Al Busaidi, Chairman of Supreme Court, held with the members of the Lawyers Society. The meeting reviewed the basics of lawyers' work in the courts, in addition to a number of topics related to overcoming the challenges being faced by the lawyers when performing their duties. Reviewing aspects of judicial cooperation between the Sultanate and Turkey were at the center of discussions of His Excellency Sheikh Abdul Malik bin Abdullah Al Khalili, Minister of Justice, meeting with His Excellency Ismail Rustu Chirit, First President of the Supreme Court of Appeals of Turkey, and his accompanying delegation, who is on a visit to the Sultanate. The meeting tackled the importance of strengthening the relations between the two countries in the judicial field, which go along with international developments in this field. As part of its endeavour to spread the umbrella of security all over the Sultanate, Royal Oman Police celebrated the inauguration of Special Task Police Unit in the Wilaya of Nizwa in the Governorate of Dakhiliya. The move also came within the context of continuous modernization of Royal Oman Police of its services in all governorates of the Sultanate. The inauguration ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Mohammed bin Salim Al Tobi, Minister of Environment and Climate Affairs, in the presence of His Excellency Lieutenant General, the Inspector General of Police and Customs. The event also included the graduation of new batches of police cadets. Upon the arrival of the Chief Guest, the Royal Oman Police Music Band played the Royal Anthem. Then the commander of the military parade proceeded and requested the Chief Guest to inspect the first row. After that, the graduates performed a military show. Then the Chief Guest honored toppers of the cadets during the training period. After that, the Chief Guest opened officially the Special Task Police Unit and toured its facilities and divisions. In order to enrich national history with various references for the purpose of preservation of the Omani history, the second batch of verbal history tellers were honored by the National Records and Archives Authority. More details in the following reports by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubai.
National Records and Archives gathered 80 of the Omani verbal historical tellers to recognize their contribution in providing important aspects in the history of the Sultanate, where some of these individuals are history makers while some had witnessed historical events held in the past. His Excellency Dr. Hamid Al-Dhawyani, head of National Records and Archives Authority, stated that honoring these respected individual sheikhs and others who came to this function from various wilayas and governorates of the Sultanate is very important. They have narrated historical events that include social, politics, economy, culture and life of the Omani community who have witnessed the development of the Sultanate Renaissance as well as services they provided before and during the Renaissance time. This second event aims at highlighting the importance of the history of Oman as well as storytellers of history who recorded their verbal history through a team of work from the National Records and Archives Authority to a number of these intellectuals who have gone through various trials in preserving the historical records. The storytellers also commended this function and said, "We have given historical information that we received from our elders. We thank God that we did that sincerely for what we have seen before and after Renaissance." This honoring event is held to strengthen national history with various references of documents, manuscripts, pictures that stress a glorious history of Omanis and their country, as well as connecting that with the bright presence of the dawn of Oman. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubai, Muscat.
Still to come on News Bulletin. The International Tuberculosis Conference kicks off in Muscat. Welcome back to the news. The three Omani playwrights achieved the first places at Sharjah competition for theatre composition. It's one of the prestigious literary contests in the region. The playwright Naeem Fath Mabrouk won the first place. The second place was achieved by Haytham Al-Shanfari, while Imad Al-Shanfari came to the third place. The dominance of Omani playwrights in the competition was the center of attention in the event. Many Gulf playwrights expressed the admiration of theoretical movement in the Sultanate, adding that such achievements proved a high level achieved by Omani playwrights in this field. The Directorate General of Disease Surveillance and Control of the Ministry of Health organized the International Tuberculosis Conference that began today at Crown Plaza Hotel. More details in the following report by Abdullah Rubai.
Over 13 national and international speakers from Italy and Canada are presenting in this 2 days conference, which is attended by more than 200 participants from all directorates. The conference aims at updating participants on the diagnosis, treatment, prevention and infection control of the tuberculosis, as well as TB HIV collaborative activity. The conference agenda will discuss the WHO TB elimination strategic plan, as well as the management guidelines for medicine-resistant tuberculosis in adults and children. It's worth mentioning that it has been 26 years since tuberculosis was declared a global health emergency by the WHO. However, WHO still ranked it along the HIV as a leading cause of death due to communicable diseases. In 2015, more than 10.4 million people contracted the disease and 1.4 million people died from it. Oman is considered a low-incident country with a rate of 7.6 per 100,000 population for all cases in 2016. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubai, Muscat.
The Board of Directors of the Public Authority for Craft Industries approved during its meeting today a number of decisions aiming to develop craft work and performance. It also approved the minutes of the third meeting and followed up the implementation of its previous decisions. The meeting also discussed the work progress in a number of projects and initiatives achieved during the previous period. The meeting was chaired by Her Excellency Sheikh Aisha bint Khalfan Al-Siyabiya, Chairperson of the Public Authority for Craft Industries. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate, clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over the northern governorates with chances of scattered rains on the governorates of Musandam. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies and winds will be southeasterly light to moderate and seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. This is the Sultan of Oman television. Before we enter tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Is signed by His Majesty the Sultan, His Highness Sayyid Asad bin Tariq chairs the Sultan's delegation to the 28th Arab Summit in Jordan. Greetings of His Majesty the Sultan are conveyed to Emir of Qatar and President of Mauritania by His Highness the Deputy Prime Minister of International Relations and Cooperation Affairs and personal representative of His Majesty the Sultan. The Shura Council studied the status of private higher education institutions and reviews the reply of the Council of Ministers on the categories affected by oil products prices hikes. And Royal Mount Police celebrate the inauguration of Special Task Police Unit in the Wilaya of Nizwa. And with that comes the end of tonight's news bulletin from overseas newsroom and the studios. Good night.